One of the most essential features in any PBX system is the automated attendant, commonly known as IVR, which stands for Interactive Voice Response. With HaPBX, you can easily configure multiple IVR menus to route calls to any destination you choose. To configure an IVR, go to PBX, select Incoming Calls Tools, and click on IVR. Inside the IVR module, you will see two main tabs, the General tab and the Entries tab. In the General tab, we define the overall behavior and basic settings of how the IVR menu will operate. First, we add a description to easily identify this IVR menu. Then, we define the number of invalid tries allowed. This determines how many invalid inputs a caller can make before being transferred to the invalid destination, which can be any destination you prefer. You will find the timeout duration and the timeout tries settings. The timeout duration specifies how long the caller has to enter an option, while timeout tries define how many times the caller can exceed that time. Next, there is a set of audio messages that will be played to the caller. The welcome message and the instruction message are played when the caller reaches this IVR. These two messages are separated so that only the instruction message can be replayed after invalid or timeout attempts. The welcome message will only be replayed after retries if the options Welcome After Timeout and Welcome After Retry are enabled. The invalid retry and timeout retry messages are played back after every invalid input or timeout attempt. The invalid and timeout messages are played one final time just before the call is sent to the invalid or timeout destination. These audio messages are sound files that must be uploaded through the Recordings Management module as shown in a previous lesson. Finally, we have the Direct Dial feature. When enabled, callers are allowed to dial numbers directly from the IVR menu. When this option is enabled, a default class of service called Extensions Only is automatically selected. This is for security reasons, as it is important to control which numbers callers can dial from the IVR. If a permissive class of service is used, callers may dial outbound numbers, which could result in trunk abuse. If callers need to dial anything other than internal extensions, make sure to create an appropriate class of service that limits dialing as expected. Now let's move on to the Entries tab, which forms the core logic of how the IVR operates. Here, you define the digits callers can press and the destinations those digits will route to. First, enter the digit the caller will press. Then choose the module or destination it should route to. You can enable or disable each entry, delete it if needed, and add multiple digits by clicking the green Add button. Once everything is configured, click Save in the lower right corner and apply the changes. Please note that the IVR module in HaPBX allows you to create as many entry options as needed. However, as a general best practice, we recommend not having more than 4 options in a single IVR menu. This helps improve customer satisfaction, as callers tend to forget options when too many are presented. They may need to listen to the instructions message again if the menu becomes too long. If more than 4 options are truly required, the best solution is to create IVR submenus. This means that one IVR option will route the caller to another IVR menu containing additional options. After creating the IVR menu, you can now use it as a destination for inbound routes. This ensures that when customers call your business, they are greeted with a professional IVR menu that guides them to the correct destination.